Hi, it's Dan. Just a few quick words about the IT4IT standard, why I think it's so important. I've been working with IT4IT now for about 8 years. I found it when I was working at Walmart in IT strategic planning, and it was exactly what we needed to understand a lot more about how to manage and measure and monitor the IT tooling landscape and the IT processes that we use to manage technology. That's what it was for. IT4IT was invented at Shell Oil in Amsterdam about 15 years ago when the complexity of IT tools and IT management, operational data flows, and operational management tooling became too much. A consortium was formed to try to figure out a standard reference architecture for what would be the minimum viable architecture for managing IT from end to end. It started as a tool interface standard. It has grown into a business architecture and an application architecture to describe the flow of data through the entire flow of work in IT, from enterprise architecture right through to development, financial management, demand management, delivery, subscription, chargeback, and ITSM, all of that. It is now the only standard, and at the time it was the only standard that I could find that actually describes this important area. Part of the original consortium was HP Software. They did a lot of work to develop the original standard along with other people in the consortium, including Shell, some other end user companies, some other technology companies. When HP went out to their clients with the IT4IT model 8, 9, 10 years ago, they would use it in big meetings with the people in the client company, and they would show them this picture on the wall. Here are a lot of functions that you do in your IT work. Let's talk about how many tools you have to do those functions. And in a typical couple of days of workshops with the senior people in the IT management team, they would identify routinely 4, 5, 8,000 separate pieces of licensed software in production doing part of this work. So the first use case, which was really a useful use case, was getting rid of a lot of that extra stuff, creating a roadmap for sunsetting some things, migrating some things, consolidating some things. And that's a great use case all by itself. Beyond that, the value of the IT4IT standard is to help us to describe a minimum level of data that is needed, operational data about what we're doing in IT so that we can describe and constrain and measure software delivered value from concept right through to end of life. As part of that, as the standard has evolved, it has become the best piece of work that I know of to describe product mindset in action in an IT context, not just in a development context, but in an end-to-end IT context. That's what I will teach you about in the IT4IT certification training. And you will learn enough to pass the exam and get a certificate. That's great. But you will also learn how I've used it and how others have used it, and something about what we're doing now as we continue in our community of IT4IT to develop the standard further. I've been working a lot with Mark Bodman at ServiceNow, who is a leader in the development of CSDM version 5. IT4IT version 3 and CSDM version 5, which will be released later this year, are just like this. They are two sides of the same coin. If you want to learn about one, it would help a lot to learn about the other. We will also be talking more this year about how to use the IT4IT model as a way of understanding and managing IT financial management, and slowly, over some time, allocating the cost of most of what we do in IT to specific product portfolios rather than to just one big bucket. All of this is good news for IT management. I hope you can join me soon in an IT4IT certification course or in the digital product portfolio management training that I'm working on that will get released later in 2025. See you then. Sign up right now and let's meet you on Zoom sometime soon. Bye-bye.